Hey, Heartland fans! Welcome back to your favorite place for all things Heartland. I'm your host, and I've got something truly special for you today. In this video, we're diving into the highly anticipated return of Ty Borden in Heartland Season 19, Episode 1. Yes, you heard that right. After all the pain, uncertainty, and questions, Ty is back. It's been years of waiting, hoping, and dreaming, and now we finally get to witness the grand return of one of Heartland's most beloved characters. From the shocking moment he walks through the door to the emotional reunions that follow, this episode has everything a Heartland fan could ask for. Before we dive in, if you're new here or if you haven't already, make sure to hit that like button, leave a comment below with your thoughts on Ty's return, and subscribe to Next Flying for all your Heartland breakdowns, stories, and emotional analysis. If you're as invested in these characters as I am, you won't want to miss any of the exciting content we have coming up. Also, don't forget to click that notification bell so you'll be the first to know when we drop new videos. With that said, grab your popcorn, settle in, and let's explore the unforgettable return of Ty Borden and the emotional aftermath that follows. To understand the depth of Ty Borden's return, we must first reflect on his tragic departure. Back in Season 14, Ty was the emotional core of Heartland. From his troubled past to his deep love for Amy, he started as an outsider, a young man with a history full of pain and loss. Over the years, Ty grew into a compassionate, loving husband, father, and vet, fully integrated into the Heartland family. His relationship with Amy was the epitome of true love, the kind forged through hardship, understanding, and mutual healing. Together, they built a life, raised a daughter, and created a future. So when Ty was tragically shot while protecting a horse and subsequently passed away, it left an immense void, not just in Amy's life, but in the lives of every single character on the ranch. The emotional devastation of his death reverberated throughout the entire Heartland community. And as fans, we experienced it as if we had lost a close friend. Amy's grief was palpable, raw, and heartbreaking. She closed herself off, not just because of Ty's death, but from the world around her. For the longest time, the thought of moving forward seemed impossible. She raised Lindy, their daughter, alone, carrying the constant ache of missing her partner. Yet, despite the pain, Amy kept moving forward. She honored Ty's memory by continuing their work at Heartland Healing Horses and raising Lindy to know the love her father gave her. Throughout the years following Ty's death, fans of Heartland held on to hope. Was there a chance Ty could return? Could he be alive? Was there a secret plot twist that would bring him back to Amy and Lindy? Speculation ran wild, but in the end, many of us feared his death was permanent. We came to terms with his absence, hoping Amy would eventually find peace and healing. But Season 19, Episode 1 surprised us all in the most unexpected way. The beginning of Heartland Season 19 opens with a quiet, reflective moment for Amy and the rest of the Heartland family. Amy is seen walking through the familiar fields of the ranch, her face a mixture of exhaustion and determination. It's been years since Ty's passing, but the wound is still fresh. It's something Amy hasn't fully healed from. She's been holding everything together, raising Lindy, working with the horses, and managing Heartland on her own. We see her trying to keep the peace while carrying the weight of the past on her shoulders. However, there's a tension in the air. Small but noticeable moments begin to hint that something is about to change. Lo, in her usual managerial style, mentions a strange letter that arrived addressed to Amy. Jack seems distant, deep in thought. Even Tim, as emotionally complicated as ever, has an unusual quietness about him. It's as if everyone is waiting for something to happen, but no one knows exactly what. Then, in a moment that makes every Heartland fan's heart race, we see a familiar truck pull up to the ranch, the one Ty used to drive. Amy, deep in thought, looks up. Her eyes widen. She freezes. She recognizes the truck, but she can't bring herself to believe it. She walks slowly toward it, and then the door opens. Ty Borden. And for the first time in years, fans witness the moment they've been dreaming of. Ty is older now, more rugged, and there's a somber, determined look in his eyes. But it's him. Ty Borden is back. The emotional weight of the moment is heightened by how Heartland frames the scene. The music fades. The world seems to slow down for a beat. Amy's face registers a mix of disbelief, shock, and raw emotion. We don't hear much, just the quiet air around them. The moment lingers. Then, the screen cuts to black. As the credits roll, it's clear this isn't a dream. Nor is it a fantasy sequence. Ty is alive. He never died. He was taken into witness protection after testifying in a dangerous case and was forced to leave his family for their safety. For years, Amy and the rest of Heartland lived in the pain of his loss, not knowing he was alive somewhere waiting for the right moment to return. The moment when Ty finally steps back into Amy's life is emotional on so many levels. Amy's reaction is one of shock, disbelief, and at first, utter confusion. She doesn't run into his arms. She doesn't even cry right away. Instead, she stands there frozen, her heart racing as she stares at the man she thought was gone forever. She's been through so much in the years since his death, raising Lindy, keeping Heartland running, and healing from the trauma of losing him. To see him standing there, alive and breathing, is more than she can comprehend. She says his name softly, almost in a whisper, Ty. Her voice cracks. And the weight of those two syllables is enough to make even the hardest of Heartland fans break down. The world around them seems to pause as Amy processes the reality of what's happening. At first, Amy walks away not because she doesn't want him back, but because the emotions are too overwhelming. She's been carrying the burden of his loss for so long, and the sudden return of the man she once loved, the man she thought she'd never see again, shakes her to her core. She doesn't know how to react. She's unsure whether she's angry, relieved, or even afraid. Later that evening, we see Amy in the barn, brushing one of the horses. Her hands are shaking. Jack, ever the wise and grounded figure, approaches her and gently tells her, "It's okay to feel everything all at once." In that moment, Amy allows herself to break down. The tears flow. Her voice trembles as she finally admits how much pain she's been carrying all these years. "I thought he was dead. I mourned him. I raised Lindy without him." She chokes on the words. But as she opens up to Jack, there's a quiet moment of understanding. Amy is not alone. She never has been. Later that night, Amy finally sits down with Ty. It's not an easy conversation. There are no grand declarations of love, just a heartfelt and raw exchange, filled with pain, regret, and the unspoken understanding that the past can't simply be erased. Amy tells Ty about Lindy, the milestones he missed, the moments of joy and sorrow, and the emptiness she felt without him. Ty listens, apologizes, and admits that the hardest part of being gone was not knowing how Amy and Lindy were doing. He never stopped loving them, but the situation he was in was beyond his control. The government put him in witness protection, and he couldn't risk his family's safety by reaching out. His return was never an option until now. Amy's journey in this moment isn't about forgiveness. It's about understanding, about finding a way to let go of the anger and embrace the love that still exists between them. She doesn't know if she can fully forgive him, not yet. But what she does know is that a part of her heart never stopped loving him. And that's where the healing begins. One of the most poignant moments of Ty's return is undoubtedly Lindy's reaction. Over the years, Amy has raised Lindy to understand who her father was, a man full of love, strength, and determination. But Lindy has grown up without him, without any real understanding of the depth of their bond. She has heard stories about Ty from Amy, Jack, Lou, and others, but she's never truly felt her father's presence until now. When Lindy first sees Ty, the scene is quiet. She's playing with the horses outside a peaceful moment. Amy stands behind her, watching with a mixture of apprehension and hope. She knows this moment will change everything for Lindy, but she can't predict exactly how her daughter will react. Lindy looks up, and there, standing at the edge of the barn, is her father. For a split second, her young mind doesn't register the reality of the situation. Ty is standing there looking different, older, a little worn, but unmistakably him. The shock on Lindy's face is instantaneous. She blinks several times, as if trying to make sense of what she's seeing. Then, she calls out softly, "Dad?" The word hangs in the air. Ty takes a tentative step forward, his voice breaking as he says her name. "Lindy." In that moment, Lindy's face lights up, a mixture of disbelief and pure joy flooding her features. Her legs move faster than her brain. She runs into Ty's arms, clinging to him like a lifeline. The reunion is simple, but full of unspoken emotion. Lindy's innocence and the sheer joy of finally having her father back is overwhelming. In her eyes, there's no confusion or anger, just love, trust, and the excitement of meeting the person she's heard so much about but never really knew. This moment, though brief, is incredibly powerful. It signals the beginning of a new chapter for this family. Ty, in turn, is overwhelmed by the sight of his daughter, the child he never got to watch grow up, the child he had to leave behind for her safety. His hands tremble as he holds her close, unsure if he truly deserves this second chance. He clutches her tightly, whispering how much he loves her, how he's missed her more than words can express. Lindy's innocent reaction is a catalyst for healing for both her and Amy. It's as if, in that one moment, all the pain of the past melts away. Ty is home, and Lindy's belief in the goodness of the world is restored. She doesn't care about the years they lost, only that her father is back. Jack's reaction. When Ty returns to Heartland, one of the most important reactions comes from Jack, the patriarch of the family. Jack has faced his own struggles with loss and reconciliation. He lost his son Peter and had his share of conflicts with the Borden family. But above all, Jack is a man who understands the deep complexities of life, family, and forgiveness. His reaction to Ty's return is initially restrained, and rightly so. After all, it's been years since Ty was thought to be dead. There's a lot of hurt and many unanswered questions. However, as soon as Jack sees Ty standing there alive and well, the walls he's built around his heart begin to crack. In a quiet moment in the barn, Jack and Ty have their first conversation since his return. It's not dramatic, but there's weight in every word. Jack doesn't immediately embrace Ty with open arms. Instead, he stands tall, looking at him with an intense, almost sorrowful gaze. "You've been gone a long time, Ty," Jack says, his voice low but full of the wisdom that only comes from a life of hardship and understanding. Ty, standing with his head slightly bowed, doesn't offer excuses. He knows there's nothing he can say to undo the past or fix the years he's lost. But what he can do is show Jack that he's not the same man who left. That he's ready to make things right, not just for himself, but for Amy, for Lindy, and for the whole family. "I'm sorry for not being there," Ty says quietly, meeting Jack's eyes. "I never wanted to leave, but I had no choice." Jack, in true Jack fashion, doesn't respond immediately. Instead, he walks over and places a firm Jack's gesture. Jack places a firm hand on Ty's shoulder. It's not a grand gesture, but it speaks volumes. Jack has always been a man of few words, but his actions speak louder than any speech. He doesn't need to say anything more because in his heart, he understands the complexity of Ty's situation. Jack knows that forgiveness isn't easy, and it's not something that happens overnight. But in this moment, he realizes that Ty has suffered just as much as the rest of them. There's room for reconciliation, and it starts with this small, quiet gesture of acceptance. Lou's reaction. Next, we turn to Lou, the ever-efficient, emotionally intelligent sister who's always tried to hold the family together, often at the expense of her own emotions. Lou's reaction to Ty's return is one of conflicted joy and deep concern. On one hand, she wants nothing more than to see her family healed, to see Amy find happiness again with the man she loves. But on the other hand, Lou is pragmatic. She's been running Heartland alongside Amy, managing the business side of the ranch and keeping everything together, all while navigating her own life's challenges. The sudden return of Ty throws her off balance. She's not sure how to reconcile the person she once knew with the man he has become. She's cautious, but hopeful. When Lou first sees Ty, there's a long pause. She's standing on the porch, arms crossed, watching as Amy and Ty share a quiet moment. Lou's face is filled with conflicting emotions, joy, disbelief, and even a flicker of anger. "I didn't expect this," she mutters to herself before quietly stepping forward to meet Ty. Their conversation isn't filled with grand gestures or tearful embraces. Instead, Lou, ever the realist, takes a deep breath and addresses him in the only way she knows how. "So, you're back," Her tone is a mix of relief and uncertainty. Ty, knowing that Lou's words carry the weight of the years he's missed, nods. I didn't expect it to be easy. I just want to make things right. Lou, her expression softening just a little, steps closer. We've all changed, but that doesn't mean we can't find a way forward. Her words reflect the hope that runs through Heartland, a belief that even in the face of pain, there's always a path to healing, to rebuilding, and to love. Conclusion. Ty's return in Heartland Season 19, Episode 1 has left us all emotional. From Amy's heartfelt reaction to the complex responses of the family, there's so much to unpack. What did you think of Ty's return? How did the other characters' reactions resonate with you? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this breakdown, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future Heartland content. Thanks for watching and keep flying with Nextdoor. See you in the next video. Subscribe to Nextdoor. Love what you're seeing? Hit that subscribe button and join the Nextdoor family. Stick around for more heartwarming stories, emotional updates, and your daily dose of drama, joy, and real moments. More updates, more emotions, more Heartland. Subscribe now and let the next adventure begin.